Today, we're flying on United Airlines Polaris Business Class on their 777-300ER from Washington Dulles to Brussels. But as United Polaris is closing in on 1 decade since its release, is it still worth it in today's world of privacy doors, wireless charging, and new tech? Truthfully, I think that Polaris could actually be renamed to Polarizing, because while there are areas that they really excel in that could easily cement them as the best business class in America, there are equally as many areas where United fails spectacularly. And at the end of the flight, we'll also see if we can snag some of the newer collectible United trading cards from our pilots, of course. A must-have for any true aviation fan. So strap on in as we dive into why United is such a confusing airline on today's flight. Here's what the United check-in area looks like at Washington Dulles. As a Polaris business class passenger, you'll get 2 free check bags and Premier access, which gives you goodies like priority check-in, security, and bag handling. And after clearing security, it's now time to check out the first thing that United actually does really well, which is their Polaris lounges.
Hi, so I'm currently here right now at the United Polaris Lounge here in Washington Dulles Airport, which is located by gate C18. So United Polaris lounges are United's top-of-the-line airport lounges. They are a much more elevated experience compared to your standard United Club lounge, and the only way that you can access the United Polaris business class lounges is if you are flying internationally on United Polaris business class, of course, or if you are flying internationally on one of their Starlines partner airlines in either business class or first class. Something that you do need to keep in mind, though, is that United unfortunately does not have Polaris business class lounges in every single airport. As of right now, they only have them located here at Washington Dulles, Newark, Houston, San Francisco, LAX, and Chicago O'Hare. Hopefully they'll open more in the future. If you are flying out of an airport that doesn't have one, unfortunately, you probably either have to use a standard United Club lounge or maybe one of their partner airline lounges. So just keep that in mind if you were looking to experience, the full Polaris experience even on the ground. But since we are lucky enough to be flying out of an airport today that does have a Polaris lounge, let's go take a look around.
The United Polaris Lounge at Washington Dulles is located by gate C18, and at 21,000 square feet, or 1,951 square meters, it's the 3rd largest United Polaris Lounge out of the bunch. It's definitely a modern-looking space with lots of seating. There's also a full-service bar, and all of the drinks are complimentary. In terms of food, there is a self-service buffet area, and I have to say that the buffet area was kept really nice and tidy. The food here also looked really, really good. You'll also find a coffee and beverage station, and my personal favorite, the candy bar. I've opted to eat in the full-service dining room today, though. Here's what the lunch and dinner menu looks like, and on the back is the drink menu. I decided to order a glass of champagne, and pardon my French, but they're currently pouring Laurent Perrier La Cuvée Brut. My apologies to all the French speakers out there. For my meal, I ordered the Polaris Signature Burger. It's a made-to-order beef short rib burger with cheddar cheese, tomatoes, pickles, and lettuce all on a brioche bun. I ordered mine medium rare, and it was cooked perfectly. This was really juicy, and it tasted great. It also came with exactly 3 potato wedges. No more, no less. And because I have a major sweet tooth, I couldn't miss out on the chocolate chip skillet cookie. It's served warm with a scoop of vanilla ice cream and is just an ooey gooey mound of deliciousness. Since my layover here is 5 hours, let's check out the other amenities. They have what they call phone booths, which basically look like private office areas that you can do work from. They also have quiet suites and shower suites. The quiet suites are basically rooms that you can reserve so you can take a nice little nap in if you need to. They even come complete with a pillow and blanket, earplugs, as well as an eye mask. I also decided to take a shower before my flight. This is what the shower rooms look like, and you can reserve them in advance as well. In terms of shower room amenities, you'll find some soaps and lotions from Therabody, towels, and a tissue box, although you can request these additional amenities as well.
Okay, so we should get to boarding now, but before we do, let me know what you thought about the United Polaris Lounge here in Washington Dulles. If you have tried out some of the other Polaris lounges, let me know how you feel they compare to the one here. And the other thing that I am very, very curious about is, who do you think has the best lounges out of the three major US-based legacy carriers? So United Polaris lounges versus Delta One lounges versus American Airlines flagship lounges. Who do you think does it best? Which of the three would you rather go to?
And here we are at our boarding gate today. As a business class passenger, we'll get to board in Group 1.
Thank you. GS
Our 777-300ER today has a 1-2-1 configuration in business class. The next and probably biggest reason why I can appreciate United is that even though their seats are dated, what they do provide is consistency. If you're flying internationally on one of their wide-body aircrafts, you'll have these versions of the Polaris seats. As a passenger, I personally find it comforting and of great value to know exactly what to expect with their hard product. Quite the rarity, considering most airlines have multiple different versions of hard product, even amongst the same aircraft type sometimes. But let me know what you think. Do you value consistency in hard product as much as I do? Or would you rather have the opportunity to have newer seats even if it's not on all their routes? Today, we'll be sitting in seat 1L, which is important to note because when it comes to United Polaris, you'll want to be sitting in an odd-numbered seat. This is what the odd-numbered seats look like, and the reason you'll want an odd-number seat is because the odd-number seats have a side table next to the aisle and the seat by the window, so it's more pod-like and provides a lot more privacy like you can see here. Whereas this is what the even-numbered seats look like. The even-numbered seats have the side table by the window, and the seat basically faces the aisle, so you're pretty exposed out there. Plus, if you're a window lover, you'll only get one window unfortunately with the even-numbered seats. But as for the seats themselves, they're upholstered in a shade of United blue fabric and come with a plush leather headrest that is adjustable. Above the side table, there's a storage locker with a mirror, a bottle of water, and the headphones. And directly underneath the storage locker, you'll find the universal power port, remote for the IFE, and the headphone jack. Directly below our IFE, there's a small storage compartment, and to the right of the storage compartment, you'll find a USB-A port. Okay, so this is what the footwell space looks like if you're in an odd-numbered seat. It's quite roomy. But if you're in an even-numbered seat, this is what you'll get instead. Quite the difference, much more narrow. Book the odd-number seats, don't say I didn't warn you. As a welcome drink, we were offered water in plastic blue cups. There was no wine or champagne or anything like that, just the water. And as our aircraft starts to push back and the safety video plays, I thought it was kind of neat how we could see our aircraft in the reflection of the glass. Just ignore all the construction though. And about an hour after takeoff, once we're in the air, the crew stops by with some hot towels for our hands. The tray table is also dressed with a white linen tablecloth, and we're given a welcome snack of mixed nuts. Plus, I ordered myself a gin and tonic. Now let's check out the food and beverage menus, because this is one of the major areas that United fails spectacularly at. While it's safe to say that we all know that United is essentially serving slop in economy and premium economy, the food in business class is only marginally better. To be fair, I have had good meals in United business class, but I've also had some pretty awful meals as well. I generally find the food in United Polaris to be mediocre at best, and downright foul at worst. Which is odd, considering that the Polaris lounges actually have some pretty good food. So I'm not sure why that doesn't translate onto their flights. But let me know what you think and what your experience with the food has been like on United Polaris. In the meantime, let's check out the meals for this specific flight to see how they are. The meal is served in a single tray, and for my appetizer, I ordered the smoked duck. It's served with parsnip puree and a grilled Granny Smith apple wedges. This was just okay. Nothing special. I give it a 6 out of 10. There was also a garden salad, and we were also offered bread as well. I chose garlic bread and the tomato herb roll. Both were really good. For the main, I ordered the pork schnitzel with creamy mushroom and pepper sauce, potato wedges with thyme, and buttered baby carrots with lemon. While I wouldn't say that this was awful, it wasn't exactly good either. It reminded me of a high school cafeteria meal, and the creamy mushroom sauce kind of just tasted like someone dumped a can of Campbell's condensed cream of mushroom soup on top. But we do have dessert to look forward to, United's famous ice cream sundae cart. There was a choice between classic vanilla or the limited edition Sky High Caramel Cloud Sundae, which I definitely had to get since it's limited. It's caramel toffee crunch ice cream, olive oil crumb cakes, glazed pecans, caramel drizzle, and whipped cream. I decided to get mine topped with some sliced almonds as well. I also got a glass of one of my favorites, some Baileys. Pro tip though, make sure you also order a glass of Baileys and pour it on top of your ice cream sundae. You can thank me later. They really need to make this Sky High Caramel Cloud Sundae permanent because it was perfection, especially with the Baileys on top. Alright, it's washroom time. There are 4 dedicated washrooms that are shared among 60 Polaris passengers. Things are pretty uneventful in here. There's some standard hand soap, some TheraBody soaps and lotions, and I suppose the most exciting thing is this fabric dewinkler spray for your clothes. As for the garbage bin, it's not automatic, and there's also no foot pedal either, unfortunately. Alright, let's head back to our seats now, because we still have to go through some of the best and worst that United has to offer. Back at our seat, let's check out the amenity kit. It's a leather travel pouch by TheraBody, which is famous for their TheraGun massage gun. The amenity kit actually comes in 2 different styles. We got the first one, the drop bag, but you might get the other style, the travel case, so keep that in mind. Regardless of which style you get though, the contents will be the same. You'll get a pair of socks, a United pen, an eye mask, a dental kit, earplugs, a pack of tissues, and this Arrive Revive package, which has a bunch of TheraBody lotions, lip balm, mist spray, and towelette wipes inside. Okay, now let's talk about the bedding, which quite honestly, in my opinion, is some of the best in the industry. The bedding is done in partnership with luxury retailer Saks Fifth Avenue, and includes a thinner fleece blanket, as well as a second blanket that's more like a thicker duvet. You also get 2 pillows, a standard pillow as well as a smaller cooling gel pillow. All of the bedding is made from recycled plastic bottles, so it's good for the environment. Don't worry though, it doesn't feel like plastic. I promise it's all very comfy. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to the bedding is the mattress pad. First off, the mattress pad along with slippers and pajamas are only available upon request. Keep in mind though that pajamas are only available for flights 14 hours or longer. I did get a pair of slippers though in addition to the mattress pad. The mattress pad is quite fluffy, and I find it really makes a difference when the seat is reclined into fully lie flat mode. Also, when the seat is in full lie flat mode, you'll notice that there's quite the gap here, so that's where the mattress pad really helps a lot in terms of comfort, so don't forget to ask for one. And here's what the seat looks like in lie flat mode and fully dressed with our bedding. In lie flat mode, the bed is 79 inches. The footwell space in lie flat mode is also still super roomy, but only if you book an odd number seat, of course. As for the headphones, according to United, these are noise reducing, which should not be confused with noise cancelling. Overall, I found these headphones to be pretty flimsy and not very good quality. I would say bring your own headphones. It's actually unfortunate that their headphones aren't any good, because what is good is the IFE. It's a 16-inch touchscreen display. although there is a remote available as well. I really liked that the IFE had a flight schedule of what would happen when. It detailed things like when the meals would come and when the lights would be turned on and off. The movie selection was also really good, and they had some of the best shows from Apple TV. Highly recommend these 3 shows if you haven't seen them, by the way. Severance, Shrinking, and Ted Lasso. All excellent, and they had full seasons available as well. They're also the only airline at present time to have Spotify available on their IFE, which is amazing. I personally love listening to a good podcast, but they also have audiobooks and music as well. And for those of you that want to get some work done, there's Wi-Fi available as well. While messaging is complimentary, if you want full Wi-Fi, it'll cost you $7.99 US or 800 miles for 1 hour, or $12.99 US or 1,300 miles for the full flight. Personally, I'm not one to buy Wi-Fi on a flight though. I look at it as an opportunity to disconnect. And for those of you that get hungry in between meals, there is a basket of snacks and bottles of water available, tucked away in the galley throughout the flight that you can help yourself to. Alright, now before we get to the pre-arrival meal, as well as seeing what trading cards we can collect from the pilots on this flight, let's talk about how much all this cost.
All right, so let's talk about cost. So I did redeem points for this, and I used Air Canada Aeroplan points, and it was 60,000 Aeroplan points plus $80.70 Canadian in taxes and fees. One thing that I did want to mention about my redemption, though, is that I did redeem this under the old Air Canada pricing structure. So for those of you that don't know, a few months ago, Air Canada moved over a select number of partners over to dynamic pricing. So previously, Air Canada had a set rate to redeem for partner airlines. So based on the distance of the flight, it would cost a set number of points. And unfortunately, United was one of those partners that now got moved over to the dynamic pricing model. Thankfully, it wasn't all of their partners, but it was some of them, and United was one of the ones that did get moved over to the dynamic pricing structure. So I just wanted to mention that in case anyone was, looking to get this exact redemption rate that I did, because United has now moved over to the dynamic pricing structure for Air Canada Aeroplan redemptions. You may or may not be able to find the same redemption rate that I did. So just keep that in mind.
And as we're about to land soon, it's now time for the pre-arrival meal, and then we'll see if we can snag some of those newer trading cards from the pilots. The pre-arrival meal is breakfast. I got the scrambled eggs with mushrooms, chicken sausage, and potatoes. To me, this was reminiscent of the infamous IKEA breakfast. There was also some fruit, vanilla Greek yogurt, and a croissant, which I'm fairly certain is the same croissant they serve in premium economy as well. Even if it's not the same, it wasn't very good. It was dry and tasteless. And as we make our descent into Brussels, let's talk about the confusing state of United when it comes to their strengths and weaknesses. For me, their strengths lie in their beautiful Polaris lounges, the amazing Saks Fifth Avenue bedding, and the great IFE entertainment options. In terms of weaknesses, their food is generally abysmal, even in business class, and their headphones are flimsy. As for the service, I will say that the service on this particular flight was good. The crew was excellent, but I've also had some pretty sour service on United in the past, so I'd say that the service tends to be inconsistent with United. And of course, there's the seats. I already mentioned that they're dated, but they are still comfortable, especially with the great bedding. And the fact that they're consistent across their wide-body aircrafts for international flights is a huge plus in my opinion. I will say that I am looking forward to the new updated Polaris suites that they recently announced that are slated to come out later this year or early next year. They do look sleek, but we'll have to see once they're actually launched. My only worry is that once these new Polaris suites are launched, we'll no longer have that consistency across the fleet. So hopefully they'll be able to get these new seats deployed in a reasonable amount of time to maintain the consistency that they have now. But let me know what your thoughts are about United Polaris. Do you find them as polarizing as I do? And now, of course, before we deboard the plane, let's see if we can snag some of the newer United trading cards.
Alright, so for those of you who have already seen my video about United Airlines Premium Economy, you already know about the trading cards. But very quickly, for those of you who maybe don't know about them, sometimes, but not always, United Airlines pilots will have trading cards available. You can go ask them for some, and if they have them available, they will give them to you. So before we get off the flight, we are going to go speak to the pilots to see if they have any trading cards available. Fingers crossed that they do.
And we do luck out today because they do have some of the trading cards available.
Hi!
These are the only ones we have right now. We don't have the...
I will take whatever you're willing to give me.
I might have...
And here they are, the 777 United trading cards. These are the newer version of the trading cards, so I'm pretty stoked. Let me know if you collect aviation trading cards like I do, or if you'd like to start collecting. Maybe we can trade sometime. But as always, thanks for joining on board today, and if you've enjoyed the video, I hope you'll like it and consider subscribing so that we can fly together again soon.